I knew I was going to die the moment the man fell. His body dropped 3 steps away from me, heavy, final, the sound swallowed by rain, yet the echo slammed straight into my bones. And when the shooter turned, when those cold silver eyes locked onto mine, my breath snapped like a fragile thread. I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to see him. The man with the gun didn't flinch, didn't blink. He simply stepped into the beam of the headlights, revealing sharp cheekbones, rain-soaked dark hair slicked back, and a presence so lethal it pressed the night itself into silence. My heart stumbled. Run, my mind whispered. Move. But I couldn't. My back was already against the brick wall of the alley, trembling under the downpour. He lifted his gun, slow, deliberate, and aimed directly at me. I don't leave witnesses, he said. His voice wasn't loud, but I felt it under my skin, low, dangerous, edged with something colder than the rain. Please. I don't. Words tangled inside panic. He stepped closer. One more step, and I could see the drops of water sliding from his jawline, the shadows framing the cut of his jaw, the way his finger rested steady and unshaking on the trigger. My knees buckled. His gaze dragged over me, not with lust, not even with anger, but with a quiet calculation that terrified me far more. Turn around, he ordered. I squeezed my eyes shut. This is it. This is how I die. But then he hesitated. The gun lowered a fraction. Something flickered across his face. Confusion, recognition, restraint, then vanished. What's your name? He asked. I blinked, startled. Aria. He exhaled, almost like the name hit him somewhere unexpected. Aria, he repeated softer. Of all nights, why did you wander into mine? I didn't understand the question, or his tone. Suddenly he gripped my wrist, not rough but firm, and pulled me away from the body. I gasped at the contact. His hand was warm despite the cold rain, and the jolt shot through me like it had no right to. What are you doing? I whispered. Saving your life, he said. But you just said. I changed my mind. He dragged me toward a black car idling at the alley's mouth. The driver stared straight ahead, unfazed. Get in, the shooter ordered. No, I can't. His hand cupped my jaw, tilting my face up until I had no choice but to look at him. Rain dripped from his lashes. His breath mingled with mine. You saw a mafia execution, he said quietly. That means you're already dead. Unless you're with me. My pulse slammed against my ribs. Who are you? He leaned in, lips near my ear, voice a deadly whisper. Leonardo Moretti. Mafia Heir. His other hand slid to the small of my back, guiding me toward the car with a touch that felt dangerously like a promise. And from this moment on, Aria, you belong to me. My breath caught. The car door opened, and the night swallowed us both. The moment the car door shut, the world outside muffled into a blur of night and neon. Leonardo slid in beside me, gun tucked beneath his jacket as if it belonged there more than his own shadow. The silence between us thrummed thick, electric, too intimate for strangers who'd met beside a corpse. I pressed myself against the far door, soaking wet, heart still clawing. Where are you taking me? He didn't answer at first. His gaze stayed on the passing lights, jaw clenched. You shouldn't have been there, he finally said. And you shouldn't have killed someone. His head turned sharply, eyes narrowing, not with anger but with something sharper. Don't say things you don't understand. I understand enough. No, he cut in, voice a low warning. You understand nothing about my world. And now you're inside it. I swallowed hard, chest tight. What happens to me now? He leaned back, fingers tapping his knee, silent for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice was softer, conflicted. I broke the rule tonight. What rule? No witnesses, he said. Ever. A chill crawled down my spine. Then why spare me? His eyes met mine. Dark. Intense. Almost unsettled. Because killing you felt wrong. The honesty stunned me. Leonardo raked a hand through his wet hair, muttering under his breath in Italian. My father will lose his mind when he finds out. Your father. He nodded once. The Don. My breath hitched. The Don, leader of the Moretti Mafia family. So what does that mean for me? I whispered. He hesitated, then said quietly, "It means you stay alive only if you're under my protection." I stared at him. Protection? You kidnapped me. I saved you, he corrected. There's a difference. The car slowed, pulling up to iron gates taller than any house I'd ever seen. They slid open with mechanical precision. "This is your home now," Leonardo said. "No," I breathed. "No, I can't stay here, my life, my job, everything. It's that or death." His voice was soft, unyielding. "The moment someone else learns you witnessed a hit, you're a target. My father will send someone less merciful next time." I stared at him, heart pounding. "You don't even know me." "I know enough," he said. "You don't get to decide my life." His jaw flexed. Something raw darkened his eyes. "I'm not deciding your life, Arya. I'm trying to keep you alive." The car rolled to a stop before a mansion carved of stone, windows glowing like warm embers against the storm. Leonardo opened his door. Rain had stopped, but the air still hummed with leftover thunder. He extended a hand to help me out. I hesitated. I shouldn't touch him. I shouldn't feel anything. But my hand moved anyway. His fingers wrapped around mine, warm, commanding, certain. A shiver ran through me. His voice dropped to a whisper only I could hear. "You belong to me now because it's the only way you stay breathing. You have 5 seconds to stop shaking," Leonardo murmured, still holding my hand as he guided me up the steps. "If my father sees fear, he'll know something's wrong." I yanked my hand back. "I'm not shaking." He looked down at my trembling fingers. "Right." Before I could reply, the heavy front door opened. Warmth spilled out. Scents of cedar, espresso, and something smoky under it all. A tall man in a sleek charcoal suit stood at the threshold. "Leonardo," he greeted. His gaze flicked to me, sharp as glass. "And this is under my protection," Leonardo said immediately. The man's brows lifted. "Does the Don know?" "He will." A silent conversation passed between them, danger wrapped inside respect. The man stepped back, allowing us in. "You have a room prepared?" "Yes," Leonardo said. "The east wing." My eyes widened. "A whole wing?" Leonardo ignored me, walking ahead. I followed reluctantly, taking in the impossible beauty of the mansion: crystal fixtures, obsidian floors polished to a mirror, portraits of stern men with darker eyes. A home built on power and fear. "You keep staring," he said without looking back, "because this place is terrifying." A low sound escaped him, almost a laugh. "Almost. You'll get used to it." "No, I won't." He stopped suddenly. I nearly crashed into him. His eyes shifted over me, slow, assessing, unsettling. "You're safe here," he said. "You can't just say that and expect me to believe it." "I don't expect belief," he murmured. "Just obedience." My breath tangled in my throat. "I'm not your prisoner." "Then don't behave like one." His hand brushed my lower back as he guided me down a hallway, light, but potent enough to heat my skin. I hated the way my pulse reacted. We reached a door. He pushed it open. The room was enormous, soft lighting, cream linens, tall windows draped in velvet. Beautiful but too quiet. "This will be your room," he said. "For how long?" "As long as it takes." I stepped inside, hugging myself. This isn't protection. This is captivity with expensive furniture. He leaned against the doorframe. "You want honesty?" "Yes. You belong to me until I say otherwise." That sent a flare of anger through me. "I belong to no one." He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. My pulse skittered. "Arya," he said quietly, "if anyone sees you without my permission, anyone, your life is over. The only reason you're breathing is because I said so." His nearness radiated heat. Something unsteady flickered in his gaze, like he was battling himself. Then, a door slammed somewhere downstairs. Leonardo's expression shattered into tension. "Stay here," he ordered. "What's happening?" "My father," he whispered. "He's home early." I pressed myself against the wall beside the doorway, listening as Leonardo descended the massive staircase. Voices drifted up, low, tense male. "What did you do tonight, Leonardo?" The Don's voice was deep, smooth, too calm. "I handled it," Leonardo replied. "Handled it," the Don echoed. "So why do I hear whispers that you showed mercy?" My stomach dropped. Leonardo's reply was sharper. "You hear too much. And you speak too little." Silence vibrated through the mansion. "You did not follow the rule," the Don finally said. Leonardo exhaled through his nose. "I made a choice." "That was not your choice to make." "It was," Leonardo said, voice lower. "And I'll make it again." My heart pounded. I shouldn't be listening. But the air was thick with danger, and their words felt like a storm unfurling. The Don stepped closer. His shoes clicked ominously against marble. "Where is she?" he asked. Leonardo didn't reply. "Bring her to me." My breath froze. Leonardo's voice dropped, lethal. "No. No," the Don repeated, surprised. "She's mine," Leonardo said, quiet but immovable. "Under my protection." The Don laughed, soft, mocking. "Since when do you claim things, figlio mio?" "Since tonight." The Don's tone cooled instantly. "This girl is a liability. You know what happens to liabilities." "I'm aware." "And you still refuse?" "I do." The Don's hand cracked across Leonardo's face before I even registered the motion. My gasp escaped too loudly. Both men snapped their heads upward. Footsteps thundered on the stairs. Panic surged. I turned, bolting down the hallway, but a strong hand caught my wrist. Not the Don. Leonardo. He spun me behind him, shielding me with his body as his father approached. "So this is her," the Don said, eyes dissecting me like I was a problem to solve. "The girl you defy your family for." Leonardo blocked his view of me, shoulders squared. "You will not touch her. She witnessed a hit." "I know. She must die." "No," Leonardo said coldly. The Don's eyes narrowed, an unspoken threat filling the space. "Then the blood on your hands," he said quietly, "will be hers." He turned sharply and walked away. The echo of his footsteps was the longest sound of my life. I sagged, breath shaking. Leonardo faced me, chest rising with fury he hadn't released. His cheek reddened from the slap. "You shouldn't have come out," he whispered. "You were going to let him." "I would never." His eyes met mine, stormy, burning, unreadable. "You're staying in your room," he said. "From now on, you move only when I say." "Leonardo." He stepped closer, his breath brushing mine. "Because the moment you slip out of my sight, you're dead." The room felt too quiet after the confrontation. Too still. Too charged. Leonardo paced, jaw flexing, hands running through his hair as he tried to burn off the anger simmering inside him. I stood near the window, watching him move like a caged storm. "You shouldn't have exposed yourself," he muttered. "You were in danger," I whispered. He stopped, turning toward me. "I'm always in danger." "That's not what I meant." His eyes softened, barely. "I know." The distance between us pulsed. A slow, dangerous pull. He stepped closer. "Arya," he murmured. "You don't understand what you're doing to my life. I didn't ask for any of this." "I know that too." His voice roughened like he was fighting something. He reached for the window behind me, pulling the curtains shut. The motion brought him inches from me, close enough that his breath grazed my cheek, warm and steady. My heart thudded. He didn't move away. "Why are you protecting me?" I whispered. His gaze dropped to my lips before snapping back to my eyes. "I don't know." But the way he said it, like he absolutely did know. Like the truth was dangerous enough to burn. Slowly he lifted a hand. His fingers brushed a strand of damp hair from my face, tucking it gently behind my ear. The touch was barely anything, but it felt like everything. His voice dipped. "You shouldn't look at me like that." "Like what?" "Like I'm not the worst thing that could happen to you." I swallowed, pulse racing. "Maybe you're not." He inhaled sharply. For a heartbeat, the world narrowed to just breath and tension and the heat between us. Unspoken, forbidden, terrifying. Then, a loud thud shook the wall. Leonardo's hand immediately went to the gun under his jacket. His entire body snapped into alertness. What was that? I whispered. He grabbed my wrist, tugging me behind him. Stay close. Another thud. This one closer. Leonardo's eyes hardened. They're here. Who? Rival gang, he breathed. They found you. The banging grew louder, no longer a warning but a promise. Leonardo pulled me behind him as he moved down the hallway like a shadow trained for war. Don't speak, he whispered. And whatever happens, stay behind me. My pulse thrashed. Leonardo. He pressed a finger against my lips, just enough to stop my words, not enough to cross the line. His gaze held mine, sharp and unyielding, a silent vow in the dark. The next second, the door at the end of the hallway crashed open. 3 masked men flooded in. One pointed straight at me. There. Take her. Leonardo moved before I even inhaled, swift, brutal, efficient. A gunshot ripped through the corridor. One man dropped. The others scattered, realizing too late who they were facing. Go, one shouted. Grab the girl. Adrenaline blurred my vision. I stumbled back, trying to run, but one of the masked intruders lunged and grabbed my arm. I screamed. Leonardo roared. A sound I'd never heard from him before. It was pure fury, like someone had torn open the last piece of his restraint. Let her go, he bellowed. The man dragged me toward the side exit. His grip was iron, bruising, and panic clawed at my throat. Leonardo chased, swift and lethal. The intruder hissed at me. Your boyfriend can't save you now. He's not. But the sentence died as he jerked me again. Then suddenly, he froze. Leonardo's gun pressed to the back of his skull. Release her, Leonardo growled. The intruder's hand trembled. Moretti, you wouldn't shoot. The Don. This isn't about my father. Leonardo's voice changed, lower, colder. It's about her. The man released me. Leonardo pulled me behind him instantly, shielding me with his body. His arm came around me, strong but steady, anchoring me against his back as he stepped between me and the intruder. The intruder raised both hands. You can't keep her hidden forever. Everyone knows she's valuable. Everyone except you, Leonardo said. A single strike, merciless and fast, sent the man collapsing. Silence fell, broken only by my shaking breaths. Leonardo turned to me. Eyes stormy, jaw clenched. Are you hurt? He asked, voice tight. No, I'm okay. He exhaled, shoulders sagging. A tremor slipped through his hand before he hit it. He was shaken. Deeply. I thought they took you, he admitted, voice rough. I shouldn't have let you out of my sight. His sincerity hit deeper than fear. Leonardo. He swallowed hard and stepped back, trying to rebuild the walls that had cracked in front of me. But I'd already seen the truth. He cared. Far more than he meant to. Leonardo's hands were still on my arms, steady and firm, as though he needed physical proof that I was still there. His breath was uneven, not from fighting, but from fear he hadn't let himself feel until now. You scared me, he admitted. The words slipped out of him like he didn't intend them to, raw and unguarded. I scared you. I breathed, stunned. Leonardo, you just fought off an entire gang for me. That's exactly why, he said. He released me abruptly, raking a hand through his hair, pacing like he was trying to shake off the adrenaline. I don't lose control, he muttered. I never lose control. You didn't. I did, he said sharply. When he laid a hand on you, something in me. He stopped himself, jaw tightening. I stepped closer, slowly, gently. What are you trying to say? He looked at me, eyes raw and conflicted. That I care more than I should. The confession stole my breath. Before I could reply, footsteps echoed across the courtyard. It was Matteo, one of the Moretti guards. His eyes were wide. Boss, this wasn't a random hit. The men had Moretti intel. Someone leaked your weakness. Leonardo stiffened. I don't have weaknesses. Matteo glanced at me. Leonardo's silence confirmed everything. Matteo hesitated, then added softly, "Your father wants to see you. Now." Leonardo muttered something under his breath. "He knows." "Knows what?" I asked. Leonardo faced me with an expression that hollowed my stomach. "That saving you wasn't a mistake to him," he said. "It was a betrayal." My chest tightened. "Leonardo, you don't have to face him alone." "I do," he said. "Because you're the reason he's furious. And because you're the reason I defied him." His fingers brushed mine. Not quite a touch, more like a near confession. "I'll be back," he whispered. "Promise." A beat of silence. "I promise." He turned and walked away, shoulders tense, the weight of a war settling over him. I watched until he disappeared into the mansion. But something in the shadows moved. A figure. Watching me. Smirking. And then, gone. The Don's study was a cathedral of power. Dark wood, leather, and silence thick enough to choke on. Leonardo entered without hesitation. The Don didn't look up from the documents on his desk. "Sit." "I'll stand." The Don finally lifted his eyes. Cold. Sharp. Calculated. "You disobeyed me again," he said. "And now your recklessness invites enemies into my home." Leonardo's jaw flexed. "We handled them." "You created them," the Don countered. Silence stretched. The Don set his silver cane on the desk. "Bring her to me." Leonardo's stance tightened. "No." The Don leaned back. "You know the rule, figlio mio. A witness dies. That is how we protect the family." "She's under my protection," Leonardo said. "Your protection," the Don echoed. "Which ends now." Leonardo didn't move. The Don exhaled, weary. "You're making this harder than it needs to be. Give her to me, and I will make it quick. You will not touch her." "And if I order you to eliminate her yourself?" Leonardo froze. The Don's voice cut through the room like a blade. "If you want to prove loyalty, kill the girl." Leonardo didn't speak. His silence was an answer. The Don stood slowly. "So you choose a stranger over blood?" "I choose my conscience," Leonardo said. "Conscience?" The Don laughed. "You're a Moretti. You were not raised to have one." Leonardo stepped closer, eyes burning. "I will not kill her." "Then I will." The Don reached for his cane. "And when she is gone, perhaps your head will clear." Leonardo's hand shot out, gripping the cane before the Don could lift it. "Touch her," Leonardo whispered, "and I will burn this family to the ground." The room went deathly still. For the first time the Don saw it. His son wasn't bluffing. "You would start a war," the Don said. "If it means she lives," Leonardo replied. "You're a fool." "No," Leonardo said softly. "I'm done being your weapon." The Don's expression darkened. "Then you are no longer my heir." Leonardo stepped back, voice steady. "Then I leave your throne for dead men fighting over ashes." He turned and walked toward the door. The Don's final words chased him. "You defy me, and she will pay the price." Leonardo froze. His jaw locked. Without looking back, he whispered, "Not while I'm still breathing." Everything changed in an instant. Alarms echoed through the Moretti compound. Men rushed through hallways. Orders barked. Weapons were drawn. Leonardo burst into my room, breath sharp. "Arya, we have to move." "What happened?" "My father declared you a threat to the family." My stomach dropped. "What does that even mean?" "It means he sanctioned your death." My blood ran cold. "And yours?" I whispered. Leonardo grabbed a duffel bag, stuffing it with cash, passports, weapons. "I'm the one who refused the order. So yes, mine too." "What?" "Leonardo, no." He stopped, turning to me sharply. "I made my choice." The conviction in his voice left no space to argue. He stepped closer, gripping my shoulders, not harshly but firmly enough to anchor me. "Listen to me," he said, voice low and urgent. "My family will come for you. They will come for me. We cannot stay here." He pulled a black jacket around my shoulders. His hands lingered a heartbeat longer than necessary. "Are you ready?" he asked. "No," I whispered. But I'll go. His expression softened for the briefest moment, relief hidden behind tension. A gunshot cracked in the courtyard. Leonardo stiffened. They're starting already. He grabbed my hand and pulled me toward a back stairway. Voices echoed behind us. Find the girl. Check the east wing. Leonardo cursed under his breath and pulled me faster, weaving through hallways, leading me into a service passage behind a wall panel. We slipped through, the door closing silently behind us. This passage leads outside, he whispered. Once we're out, we run toward the woods. Woods? Where? I know a safe house, he said. But we have to get out before my father locks down the estate. Another gunshot, closer. Leonardo pushed me to move faster. We emerged into the cold night air behind the mansion. But we weren't alone. 5 armed Moretti soldiers stood between us and freedom. Their leader stepped forward. Leonardo, don't make this harder. Leonardo moved in front of me. You're in my way. Don't do this, the man said. Don't turn against your blood. Leonardo's voice dropped, quiet and lethal. I'm protecting what your Don abandoned. The men raised their guns. Leonardo tightened his grip on mine. When I say run, run. Leon, run. He dropped smoke at their feet, grabbed my hand and sprinted. Gunfire ripped through the night. Branches whipped my face as we plunged into the forest darkness. Leonardo didn't stop. Not once. Not until the estate lights were far behind us and the gunfire faded into distant echoes. He finally slowed, pressing me against a tree, checking me frantically. Are you hurt? No. He leaned his forehead against the tree beside me, breathing hard. You shouldn't have to run because of me, I whispered. He lifted his head, meeting my eyes, full of something fierce and unbroken. I'd run 1,000 times, he said softly, if it meant you lived. We reached the cabin just before dawn. Hidden between towering pines, the place looked abandoned, dark wood, moss-covered roof, a single lantern flickering inside. Leonardo guided me toward it, his hand steady on my back. He hadn't let go of me since the forest, as though releasing me meant risking losing me to the night itself. This is it, he murmured. The one place the Morettis don't know about. The inside was simple, wooden walls, an old fireplace, a small kitchen. But it felt safe. Safer than anywhere else we'd been since the night we met. Leonardo locked the door, checked every window, then finally exhaled. I sank onto the old couch, legs still trembling. I can't believe we're actually alive. Leonardo crouched in front of me. You're shaking, he said. You're not. His eyes softened. Only on the inside. He reached for my hand, slow, gentle, giving me enough time to pull away if I wanted to. I didn't. The warmth of his fingers curled around mine, grounding me in a way I didn't expect. You didn't have to give up your life for me, I whispered. He shook his head. I didn't give up anything. You lost your family, your title, everything. His thumb brushed lightly across the back of my hand in a soothing stroke. I lost things I was already trying to escape, he said. But you. His voice caught. You're the first choice I made for myself. The air shifted, soft, charged, dangerously honest. A log cracked in the fireplace, the sound startling both of us back into reality. Leonardo stood abruptly and began checking supplies. We'll stay here until I figure out our next move. What next move? I asked. He paused. I don't know yet. His voice was rough, like he wasn't used to admitting uncertainty. I watched him move through the cabin, the weight of leadership still on his shoulders even though he'd left his throne behind. He wasn't just protecting me. He was carrying everything alone. Leonardo, I said softly. He looked over. You don't have to do this by yourself. Something shifted behind his eyes. A vulnerability he hadn't let himself show. He came back, sitting beside me. Close, too close but not touching. Arya, he said quietly. If they find us, they will kill you first. And you. They'll make an example of me. Fear pierced through me, but not just for myself. For him. We'll survive, I said, surprising myself with the conviction in my voice. He looked at me, really looked. With you here, he murmured. I almost believe that. Before I could respond, a sharp crack echoed outside. Both of us froze. Leonardo's jaw tightened. That wasn't a branch, he whispered. Someone was in the woods. Coming closer. Thank you for listening to this cinematic story on Diya's Romance Library. If you enjoyed this emotional mafia forbidden romance and want the part 2, don't forget to like, comment your favorite moment. Subscribe for more gripping, slow burn love stories every week. Your support keeps the stories alive.